third and long. Sing this song, 'cause it's third and long. And now to your hosts, Tony Hunt, Andy Benedict, and Jesse Logan.
Unique New York. Unique New York.
Jeez.
Swag.
Oh, that's perfect. I needed that gold. Swag. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. And we back, and welcome back, ladies and gents, to another episode of Third and Long. Hello.
What an intro. What
I
an
have
intro.
recovered the
Get
Rangers.
fired
I'm
up
over
one
it.
time.
I am ready to go.
Wow,
I'm ready
it's
to
a
go.
whole new team. It's a
Here
whole
we go.
new team.
Woo! Here we go. Episode
Turned
4.
over a new lead.
I'm feeling good about it, boys, and I'm a few cold ones down, so we're looking good, feeling good. Episode 4, Third and Long. Here we go again. Welcome back. I'm one of your hosts, Tony Hunt, and alongside me, you'll see at the bottom with the bigger than head headphones, our man on the left,
Love it.
Andy Benedict.
You bet. Glad to be back.
And there, with the big K, our man from the north, J-Lo.
What's
Jesse
up?
Logan. What's up? What's up? Hello, boys. We're back. Feeling good. How's everybody feeling? Good?
Good to be here.
Good.
Sweet.
Glad
Here we
to
go.
be back.
So we've
Right
got a...
home. Back on Tuesday night here.
Wow. Tuesday. Really just told everybody what night we do this on, so it takes a while to go live, but we're okay. So here we go. So we've got a big show. I hope you guys are prepared for this. We're going to run right through the weekend that was college football, wild escapades there. We're going to take a look at fantasy. Andy's going to walk us through that heading into the weekend. We're also going to take a look at some stardom sit-ums. Jess and I've got some new ideas this weekend around alternate uniforms and what we're going to do there.
Oh, yeah.
And then, as always, we're going to go over our picks from last weekend and then heading into this coming weekend. That should be fun and interesting, as I always do bad. So, here we go. We're going to jump right into this thing. I hope everyone got to watch some college football this weekend, because this was probably one of the best weekends we have seen in a long time.
Pure
Long
great.
time. Pure greatness. I don't know where to start. I mean, there was a lot. Oh, one of the big things, I guess, Thursday.
You got to start with Michigan State. Michigan, right?
Wow, no teasers,
Agree.
no foreplay, nothing.
Nothing.
Right in for
All
the
right,
whole
don't let me
thing.
derail you. Don't let me derail you.
Golly, I mean, we had a great game on Thursday night
Okay.
with Stanford, UCLA going into Stanford, and McCaffrey. That boy can run. He had 25 carries, 243 yards, and 4 touchdowns in a blowout win for Stanford.
Well, I
What-
think that's immediately going to have to jump him into the Heisman watch. Now, I'm not going to get crazy and throw him in
Wow.
the top 5 or anything like that, but immediately into the Heisman watch. All right, it's not a Heisman warning, Heisman watch. Like you said, 243 rush yards. Now, he also had a 96-yard kick return in that. And then, T, something you and I talked about earlier today, McCaffrey, I know that name probably rings a bell to a lot of people out there. It's actually the son of Ed McCaffrey. And you may not know this, but the other running back in that backfield is one Barry Sanders Jr. So
Oh,
some
think we've
pretty
heard that name
nice
before.
lineage there.
That's right. Wow, and the Cardinals are rolling. They're up to 15, taking care of UCLA. UCLA's reeling, so be on the look for UCLA. They're making moves. They're doing some good stuff. And then it kicked off. I mean, Friday kept it going. Boise State got blown out by Utah State, so they're pretty much done. You can count them out.
Wow.
Houston with Herman took care of business, 42-7. So they're 6-0 now. Maybe they'll get to the second
They just
half.
keep on rolling.
And then we go into Saturday. So some notes I had from the weekend. Baylor, TCU, Utah, Clemson, all won big, took care of business as they should.
Baylor with over 60 points again.
Again.
Nothing new.
Again.
And did you see, let me pull it up. I had it up here. That receiver for Baylor, that Corey Coleman, 10
Oh, yeah.
for 199, 3 touchdowns. That was his 14th touchdown of the season. And they're only 6 games in.
Jeez. What are the stat lines, John? I mean, what are the stat lines for some of the players? You mentioned one, but I mean, these guys got to be throwing up just fantasy numbers or NCAA football numbers here, like you're playing a video game.
Yeah, they had. I mean, so the star of the game was. I don't know if you guys saw it at all. I watched it just so I could validate what Baylor's doing, and Seth Russell is. He's legit. He is. Yeah. He's very athletic. He's deceiving. Here's his line, Benny. 20 of 33 for 380 and 5 touchdowns. Jeez. So his QBR was 97. And then he ran 14 times for 160 yards and a touchdown.
So what do you think that the quarterback, and I don't watch a lot of Baylor football, right? Just mainly because it's predictable. They're going to score a lot of points. They're going to give up a lot of points, and chances are they're probably going to win in the end. But do you think that their starting quarterback is going to project out to be an NFL starting quarterback?
I mean, I don't know. I guess it's early to tell on Seth, since this is his first time in the system.
Sure.
And the guys coming in before him haven't proven much, so maybe third time's a charm with RG3. And then what's his name up in for the Jets now? Bryce Petty.
Mm-hmm.
He's not seeing much action up there.
Yep. More product of the system opposed to someone that's standing out as a true NFL prospect.
I think that's part it. I think the other aspect of it is Seth Russell is a little more athletic than like a Bryce Petty. Russell also
sure.
I think you may have touched on this, but he also had 14 carries for 160 yards and a touchdown over the weekend against West Virginia. And on the year, 27 touchdown passes, only 5 picks, and he's leading the nation in QBR right now. So
and he's only a junior, so they get him for one more year,
right?
Which I think does him really good. So if he's not a finalist and keeps this thing going, he might be a finalist for the Heisman. If he's not this year, then I think he's going to be a front runner going into next season too. Yeah, I think. I mean,
it looks like he's got the right build too. 6'3", 220.
Yeah, and I think they're serious. I mean. In TCU, I can't wait for this Baylor-TCU game. It's going to be unreal. I mean, they struggled a little bit getting it going on the road. They gave up 21 points in the first quarter, but didn't allow Iowa State to score again. They ran away with it 45-21. So I think Patterson, he'll get that team going defensively whenever they need it.
Yeah.
Utah.
Do you think after watching that first half of the TCU-Iowa State game, they are a top 4 team still to this day, or no?
Who, TCU?
Yes.
Absolutely. I think they are. With what Boyd's doing on offense, he was 27 of 32, 436, and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
so I think
got it going.
Like they can't. Right, they're not slowing anybody down. I mean, they're not being slowed down. Their defense is just giving up a lot of points.
There's not too many teams that can outscore them, until they get to like a Baylor.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have a tough stretch in November. I mean, Oklahoma State's still on the schedule. They're undefeated right now. Oklahoma looked way better against K-State. What was that, like 55-0 over the
weekend? You think they were a little upset about the Red River shootout here? So they took some aggression on
K-State.
For sure.
That was my note. I wrote down Bob Stoops is pissed.
Right. Yeah.
He is mad.
Have you seen lately Bill Snyder, K-State's coach? He's been writing these personalized letters to players from different teams that they played over the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably had to write a letter to the entire Oklahoma team saying good game on that.
Right. Help me pick my shorts up.
Right.
Bring out a card stock on that one.
Yeah. Right. And Clemson did not pull a Clemson this weekend. They actually took care of business when they should. So that's good. They had a receiver, Artavis Scott. He went for 162 and a touchdown. This Deshaun Watson, he's the real deal. He's like a copy of what's his name?
Taj Boyd.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And then those were kind of the day games, and then moving into we'll do this real quick, even though it hurts me to do it. The 2:30 emphasis on the pick 6 game. God dang it! Such a struggle. Those who know
threw more touchdowns to the other team than he did to his own.
You know, and for everyone who doesn't know or doesn't watch A&M football, he is a true sophomore, so didn't even have a full season last year. This is his first time taking over, and when your first big game is Alabama and you haven't seen a defense like that, you're in for a rude awakening, which I think he just got popped in the mouth and didn't know how to respond. So there's some good. I mean, that Henry guy, that Derrick Henry for Bama, he's just a beast. He's a man.
He's a freaking machine.
He finished he finished with 32 for 236 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But in the first quarter, he had 151. In the first quarter, he had 151 yards. And then
you can't arm tackle that guy.
Right. And so, I mean, in our defense, we hung tight. We slowed him down. I mean, the second half was only a 13-10 game in favor of Bama. When the first half, we were down pretty bad. So we'll see. We go on the road to Ole Miss this week. Got to respond.
Yeah.
Got to bounce back. But the fun really came and made me feel better with the mishap at the Big House. Man,
wow.
I feel bad for that punter. So for all those
who wants to kick that one off? Right.
I mean, I'll recap. For everyone who didn't see, Michigan was up 23-21. There's 10 seconds left in the game. They're on the 50, 4th and 10. All they got to do is punt the ball away. Game over.
Yeah.
You can just assume what happened. Since we're talking about this game, punter fumbles it, tries to kick it, goes right to the hands of a Michigan State player, picks it up, goes to the house. And when the kid goes to the house and scores, he actually breaks his hip and is done.
Jalen Watts Jackson. And that's what was so crazy about the play. I went back and rewatched that. And, the dog pile there in the end zone, a kid runs down. He sees Jalen is actually kind of in pain, and he sprints out of there. And then here comes the second wave of Michigan State players diving onto the pile. So it was a dangerous situation. He may not play football again this year, but his name's going to go down in Michigan State lore.
Right. And they say he may not play football ever again.
Wow.
That's how. I mean, it's almost like a Bo Jackson type scenario with what hip. It's gone full corrective surgery to get that replaced.
Unreal. But if that's your last play in football,
yeah, and I think
you're going out
on top,
right?
And that's what you got to love about college football, right?
Yeah. Anything can happen.
This wild stuff that happens at the biggest moments. So it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It makes me love the game. That's right.
Yeah. Right.
And this goes up there with some of the Doug Flutie's Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Some of the plays that we all remember growing up. And this is going to go right up there with it. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. The game was in the bag. Fans are leaving the stadium. It's a done deal. And for that to happen, the ending could have played out any number of ways. And for it to have played out that way and worked out so perfectly for Michigan State, I still can't believe it. I think everyone's still in shock in Ann Arbor.
Yeah. And you got to go back. And there's a clip that I watched it 2 or 3 times. I showed Kristen this when we were eating dinner about the Michigan fan on his knees crying, a grown man crying. Just so. It is. If you can Google it, check it out. Just Google Michigan fan crying. It is. They already got almost
Michigan fan crying.
It is just
classic.
That's a topic.
That illustrates how much people live and die by college football. This was supposed to be Michigan's year. They turned the corner. They turned the program around. It was a done deal, and that punt was essentially just the exclamation point of the game. And that turned the whole season around for Michigan. And Michigan State is still there undefeated.
Yep. So go ahead.
One question, and I'd be curious to see your guys' opinion on this, but one thing I instantly thought about whenever you see a punter, obviously everyone's going to say, hey, as soon as the ball is muffed or he drops it, fall on it, you're going to give yourself an opportunity to defend a Hail Mary. But one option you could have looked at, too, is hiking the ball and throwing it as far as you can, right? You got 10 seconds left. Take away the blocked punt aspect, take away exactly what happened, if you feel confident that your quarterback can hike the ball, take a 3-step drop, and throw the ball 60 yards downfield straight up in the air, do you roll with that type of chance or scenario opposed to an option of what happened?
Right.
Who knows?
For me, I mean, hindsight's 20/20, right? We can all sit here now, as Benny said, Tuesday night, and second guess it.
Just for all you fans out there want to know.
That's why we do these shows, man.
Yeah.
Tuesday night quarterback.
Right. I mean, we
Right.
can all sit here and second guess it. If it's me and I'm the head coach, I'm punting the thing. You know what I mean? Pin them deep back in the
Everybody's punting it.
And they don't even have an opportunity for a Hail Mary. You know, they're at a point where they're going to have to just start pitching the ball back. And the other thing about it is this kid had an 80-yard punt earlier in the game. You know, so it's
you're
not like
hoping
he's
he
a
could
slouch.
just get hang time for 10 seconds and kick it into the end zone.
Right, him grabbing the ball and punting it, it should be a routine deal. He does it every single day of his life. And in that moment, things didn't go right.
Yeah.
And, you know, I rarely do they practice situations like that. You know, where
who's
there's people coming down on you. He tried to make a play there when he really shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. It backfired on him, and they lost the game.
Yep.
So you feel terrible for that kid.
Yeah, and we're running. We got just a few more minutes to go over some of the stuff. We're going to keep it in the Big Ten real quick. Iowa just beating the tar at a Northwestern. They're 7-0. They got 5 left, and I think
so much for that pick, huh?
Yeah, shoot.
Holy cow.
Yeah, we'll get into picks later. I don't have much room to talk, but looking at Iowa's schedule, they might run the table.
No room to talk.
Right. They got Maryland at Indiana, Minnesota, Purdue at Nebraska to finish. So those are their final 5 games. So if they run the table, they're in a Big Ten championship game.
They win the Big Ten, they go to the top 4?
Right. Where do you put Iowa? What do you do?
No one's talking about them. No one's talking about them. They're moving up in the rankings. They have this kid, Akram Wadley. He had 204 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. So, I mean, they don't do it pretty. Like, it's old school type stuff, you know, but hey, if you can run the ball, control possession, and play defense, you're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, and here's the thing, that Wadley is not their number 1 back.
Yeah.
Their number 1 guy is gone. So Jordan Kanzuri is their number 1.
Next man
He
up.
was hurt, so Wadley fills in, goes for 200 yards. So, I mean, be on the lookout for Iowa. Ohio State, they pulled away like we anticipated, I believe, because they made Jesse's call and they switched to JT Barrett, which they're going to be moving forward with Barrett. So look for that offense rolling. And then for everyone that didn't catch the Florida LSU game, you missed a classic SEC battle. It was great. I mean, Fournette goes for 180 and 2 touchdowns again. Trayon Harris steps in for Will Greer, does a great job. Yeah. I mean, it was just a great game. It ended up 35-28 in favor of LSU. So we'll see. We'll see what unfolds there in the SEC.
And they won it 35-28. He's the Mad Hatter for a reason, right?
That's right.
28.
Yeah, Benny, I don't know if you even saw their fake field goal.
It was awesome.
The holder gets it from one knee, swings it out to the kicker. Kicker runs up the sideline for like 25 yards, touchdown. It was just, I mean, it was just a wild college football weekend. It was great. That's why we love it.
Perfect. They executed better than the Colts then in their special teams fake debacle. So we'll get into that later.
Oh man.
Yeah. So that, I mean, we kind of went long on a college football recap. It was a huge weekend. We'll kind of take a preview and look into college football coming up for this weekend. It's a little slower, a little lighter, so some might call it a bye week, but we won't because the Ags travel to Oxford to take on Ole Miss. We'll cover all that later, but stay tuned as Andy's going to cover some fantasy football highlights with us coming up next. Boom. Okay, the moment everyone has been waiting for. The man in the black hat with the white headphones. Here we go with your fantasy preview for this coming weekend. Andy.
Perfect. Thank you.
Bennett?
Thank you.
Bennett?
Bennett?
Andy
Bennett?
Bennett?
Bennett.
Swanson? Samson? I was way off.
Pan thing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, perfect. No, we're rolling into a big Week 7 here with the NFL, kind of taking a look at guys that could have or are set to have breakout performances this week based off of their matchup. So I really ran down. There's a double down plus 5 extra players that I really want to focus on that have potential to have big weeks for you guys. One, they'll help. Obviously, you're going to play them in the standard leagues that you guys are in, but daily leagues that you're playing as well, they could be a big asset for you just for this week alone. So kind of gearing up right into who I think is going to have potential to really explode is the duo of Carson Palmer and Larry Fitzgerald. I know it's not a big shocker on that, but they are taking on Baltimore, and Baltimore has actually allowed the most fantasy points to a quarterback this year and the second most fantasy points to wide receivers. So you got to love that matchup, right? You got to love they're getting them at home, too. So Arizona's playing at home, so that's almost a no-brainer.
It sounds like they need to call Ray Lewis back on defense because that is not the Ravens D that we are used to.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Get them fired up. Whatever they're doing, whoever they passed it off to, the pregame speech, they need to make sure that they're getting them fired up. They're playing a big game Monday night, but I just they're playing on the road against Carson Palmer Fitzgerald. They're going to have a big game there.
Yeah, Carson has looked incredible coming back from that ACL. And then another guy to look out for if you've been keeping on your bench is that John Brown for the Cardinals.
Correct.
As well.
He had a big week this past week. Huge.
Over 140 yards receiving. And, I mean, he can really stretch the field. He's been very impressive. Pittsburgh State, Kansas alum, by the way, too.
Oh, there you go. Kansas reference. So in your daily leagues, right? So you're able to play multiple players from one team. You're going to get points per reception. They're going to have an opportunity to have that. Kind of moving forward, this isn't a big shocker here. He played last week. He ended up having a touchdown. LaShawn McCoy versus Jacksonville. Jacksonville's the fifth worst rushing defense or against running backs here, defensive wise. I like LaShawn McCoy, and then the other running back that I really like, Todd Gurley, taking on the Browns. The Browns are the third worst on run defense. You gotta like that, especially St. Louis playing at home. So I'm rolling with McCoy and Gurley from the running back position. And then I'll round out the running back position with AP. I think he's going to have a bounce-back game. Peterson's taking on the Lions. The Lions D from the running side looks like trash. They're giving up 22.32 average points for a running back each week.
Wow.
So you got to like having the big monster roll in and take on the Lions there. Then kind of kicking – oh, go ahead, T.
Yeah, so we got our first email.
Oh.
You guys are excited about that?
Yeah, big shout out.
Yeah.
Is that from one of the members of the Chain Gang?
Yeah, from the Chain Gang. Our first-time, long-time super fan, Clay, has a question for you, Andy. He says, I'm looking at tight end Gary Barnidge and Greg Olsen and Rainey. He goes, I have a tight end spot and a flex spot open. Do you think I should just go ahead and double down on tight ends, or should I do a combo Barnidge and Rainey? Help, please.
In my opinion, I'm going Barnidge and Olsen all day over Rainey. If you look at Rainey, unless you're getting points for any kind of return game, he's had one fantasy point all year. So I'm definitely rolling with Barnidge and Olsen. Olsen's had some big games this year. You got Doug Martin that's playing ahead of Rainey. The guy is hotter than a pistol, right? I mean, everybody's starting that guy. He's getting all the carries. And so I'm definitely playing the two tight end set.
Right. And Barnidge, a touchdown in 4 consecutive games.
Correct.
So that's a no-doubter.
Big time.
And he also writes, do I bench Ginn this week for the Panthers? What do I do with him?
It really depends on who your other wide receivers are. But if you look and you go back a couple games, Ginn might have had a big game. I think he had, one big game this year so far. But he's really not getting a lot of targets, right? And that's what's concerning. So not only do you have to get a lot of targets to help out your percentage, but you got to find the end zone. And you're putting a lot of pressure on a guy that might only get 2-3 targets a game to say, hey, I'm going to convert for 30 yards with one of those, and then another one's going to go into the end zone. So if you have a viable option at the wide receiver position outside of Ginn,
Yeah.
I think you got to put him on the bench.
Yeah, I think Ginn is definitely touchdown contingent right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Clay, appreciate it. I hope that helps. And again, for any of those members out there of the Chain Gang, if you've got any fantasy questions for Andy or Jesse or myself, please email us at thirdandlong1@gmail.com.
And that's number 1, not spelled out 1. It's number 1.
Yes, and it is flashing here at the bottom. Flashing. Please shoot us. Anything you want. We've got some other emails that are rolling in that we will cover towards the end of the show. So be on the look for that. Andy, great look into fantasy for this coming weekend. I think it's going to be
two guys I'm going to roll with. Real quick. I'm going to keep it within 15 seconds. Brandon Marshall, hotter than a pistol. You're playing him. You got to like it. They're going to be playing from behind with the Pats. I think the Jets defense keeps them in the game.
Oh yeah.
Big time. Jets defense is great. They're gonna be able to slow some things down. And then the last person, I've been on this bandwagon for the last couple weeks. Antonio Gates is taking on the Oakland Raiders, who have the worst defense against tight ends. Antonio Gates is a touchdown machine. He got one this past weekend. You're playing Antonio Gates. Expect big things from him as well.
Dude loves him.
Done.
Antonio Gates.
I love Antonio Gates just from a touchdown perspective. The guy just knows how to get in the end zone. And he is like a Jason Witten, Tony Romo with Phillip Rivers.
Rivers loves that dude.
He loves him. He's always looking for him. Boom. There you go. Fantasy. Keep them coming. Email us your questions. We're happy to go through those for you.
Wow. Beautiful. I just need 15 more seconds. Turns it into 4 more minutes. But, hey, that's what we're here for.
The classic.
And you got a fast forward button, right? You got a fast forward button.
It's awesome. So coming up next, stay tuned. We're going to go through our news, start them, sit them, special, I don't know what we call it, segment. And with that being said, all I got to say is, what is up with those damn Browns jerseys?
Poor Browns.
Here we go. We are on the line. You know, it's like Instagram. We're on.
Take a picture. Click. Now it's out there. It's on the line. It's on the line.
Exchange-o-gram.
It's Exchange-o-gram, baby.
It's Instagram. It's already created. Right, there you go. If you haven't seen The Internship, go check it out. Great movie. So here we go. We're rolling right into second edition of Stardom Situm. This is a hot topic for us, and I think a hot topic for everybody.
Yeah.
But we're going to go through the best and worst Stardom Situm of the alternate uniform. And for those who don't know, it's when a team touches away or gets away from their traditional uniform, the traditional home away colors. They branch out, might go with an all black. They might go with a different logo. They might just do something completely silly.
Yeah.
Which you're not used to. So we'll start with the good. We'll start there, and then we'll finish with the bad, because that's probably where all the fun's going to happen, is with the bad stuff. So I'm gonna start here. I gave this a lot of thought. My first, let's see, where should I lead with this?
What are you starting with? What's your first stardom?
I'm gonna sting Benny early.
Oh.
And shout out to my boyfriend of Brooklyn. Hey, yo, you Breezes? Are you Breezes? But I'm talking about the New York Football Giants. I think they have one of the sharpest, cleanest looks from a standard uniform. And then when they throw in that alternate uni, I think they just do a great job. Because when they go with that all-red jersey top, they keep with the gray pant. And then
definitely
the blue.
The less is more.
Anytime you can mix in these colors, you got to feel good about it.
Right.
Anytime
could have just said the Jayhawks. It would have been better. Roll the
Yeah.
Jayhawks basketball uni. Enough said.
God. I mean, I'm not going to flash the Spidey. Spidey. If we're talking alternate
man.
unis, I went alternate.
Oh, wow. Wow, we're getting
All
off
right,
track here.
proceed.
All right, we're coming back. Yeah, so traditional red, white, and blue. If you don't like it, you are not American, and we will come out and get you. So we're going to lead. Secondly, I'm going to go to college. These next two are coming out of the college realm. Anything that TCU's throwing out, I'm starting, I'm buying, I'm loving. These guys with the black, purple, white, the red, they're actually now doing the scales of the Horned Frogs on their pants. I mean, some people might think it's wild.
Colleges now are using this as a recruiting tool, right? These alternate uniforms, like you see it from Oregon, TCU. These guys are saying, now you can get on the other side, and we'll get into that later with some of these teams. But they're using it as a recruiting tool to say, "Come to us. Look at the swag you get."
Right.
People are swag guys. I'm a swag guy.
There's no more keeping up with the Joneses. It's keeping up with the Phil Knights of the world.
Oh,
right.
That's ultimately what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but even when they go with the new their new helmets that they got with the TCU, or they go with the traditional shiny purple, the white. I mean, it all works. The combos don't work. They don't do anything crazy. Even when they go with the all black, black is a part of their big color scheme and what they're doing. So I think it's solid.
When they go over the top, it's still stylish.
Oh, sure.
Right. It just works. It all ties together. I think they're doing a great job. Nike's really got that under control with them. Next, we're going to go to Florida, the University of Florida.
Oh, wow.
Naturally, they called it Gatorade. I think it's great. You guys have some opposing views on that, so you can counteract if you want. But I think it's great when they just do the blue on blue, even when they throw that orange jersey on the white. They've got some really cool alternate helmets that they roll with. Yeah. The white with the blue F. It's just a cool look. I think they do a really good job just kind of mixing, matching. Sometimes the orange can be too much.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of over here like Brent Stewart. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard to watch. They go with that all orange. Yeah.
All orange not working.
But even when they throw the white pant, the orange top with the orange helmet, they got some good combos going on there. The all blue, if they go that route. I just like it. Anything they're throwing out, I'm buying with Florida.
Yeah, it's a clean look.
Yeah, and then lastly, this is a big one. We're kind of stepping out of our football realm. I'm going to actually go over to the NBA, and I'm going to keep it local with the Dallas Mavericks.
Homer alert.
There is some great Homer jerseys coming out of Dallas.
Homer alert. You should have picked the Cowboys, the star.
And no, that's too easy.
Those are slick, though. I'll give you that, T. Especially they implemented the skyline.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the new 2015-2016 jerseys with the Dallas skyline in the back, it's kind of a throwback to the old Denver Nuggets when they had their mountain skyline something when they were the purple and all that. It's a nice, fresh look. I mean, I will say I have a man crush on Dirk Nowitzki, so anything that dude is throwing on.
Getting great, weird.
Man. No, he's great.
He is greatness.
The big German. We love that guy.
Take that with you!
Yeah. I'll send him a clip of this video. Hopefully he won't find it awkward because I love his jerseys, but hell, who knows? If he does, who cares? Great stuff. Probably won't even watch it.
Just own it.
But there's my 5. What we're buying again.
You're not buying
Giants.
Starting it.
Starting crap. I need to quit saying that. Giants, TCU, Florida, and then we're staying home for the Mavs. So there's some great unis. Google them. I don't think we can copyright post these images, but we still might do it. Yeah, that's all I did.
Yeah, you said it was the top 5.
Oh,
you had 4. So
this is where the show completely melts down.
We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. We're going to blow right past that. We're going to go into the sit-ems and kick it over to Jesse with those and really get into the debate.
For me, I've got to start out with Arizona State. All right, they were with Nike last year, and they were putting out garbage. And rarely does Nike do that. I mean, you really have to try for that. They switched over to Adidas this year, which is one of the worst things you can do from a jersey standpoint. All right,
you're never good to go from Nike down to Adidas.
and they came out with the whole Desert Ice collection against A&M. The pitchfork's hideous. The jerseys are way too busy, and there's just too much going on. I'm a big fan, for the most part, of subtlety. And like we said, if you're going to go over the top, kind of like TCU, they still have some subtle styling going on. They don't get into all these like gradient fills and lines and logos everywhere. It's too busy, and it's ugly, and now they're with Adidas. And the one thing I want to say about Arizona State, their whole thing, have you guys seen their shirts? They say "Break the Rock." And I was like, what does that even mean?
Who's rock?
They run out with this hammer, and so this is like their battle cry. And what they say is the way to conquer a mountain is to break it one rock at a time.
Or you run up the mountain.
Or the way to conquer a mountain is to climb it.
Climb the mountain.
How about you climb the mountain?
Get up the mountain.
Yeah,
I'm a 5 on my Zoe. I'm going up the mountain.
I'm going up the mountain.
No wonder Arizona State is garbage this year, because they're trying to break the mountain down instead of just climbing the damn thing.
Have you seen their mascot? Like their mascot, it's a creepy devil.
Haunt your dreams.
Yeah,
It's just a creepy devil.
We're all in agreement that trash.
Terrible.
Trash.
This is not good.
So high level, Adidas, trash. All right, straight up.
Fair
Arizona
enough.
State is leading the way with Adidas gear.
You bet.
The next thing, jumping into the NFL, all right, and I'm sorry, like this whole episode, we're picking on the Browns, and I'm sorry, okay?
That's all right.
But your jerseys are trash, all right? You have Browns written on the side of your pants.
I think they could have salvaged the uniform if they would have just take the Browns off. The whole concept
like
of
so
the Browns is to not have any kind of name. In the NFL, you don't see any kind of naming on the jerseys, right? It's so different than the college realm. Why'd you plaster Browns down
You
your
don't need
leg?
to say Browns on the pants. We know you're brown. All your colors are brown.
They're all brown.
We already know that.
That would be the worst fan. I mean, you would have. I feel bad for people that are Cleveland Browns because your swag game is terrible. You have brown and orange. You can't rock anything with those colors. Brown and
if
orange.
everyone will remember their whole new logo unveiling this year, they essentially just changed the hue of their orange and then called it a new logo.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Cleveland. We got to put you down. I'm sitting your jerseys, okay?
You got
The next thing is the Packers throwbacks from this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Be sure to look those up, all right? What I'm going to call the khaki pant, all right? I mean, it's like Aaron Rodgers rocking those. It's like a State Farm commercial. Like, Aaron, what are you wearing? Khakis?
He should be the new DirecTV commercial, right?
So bad.
I'm Aaron Rodgers with my normal football pants, and I'm Aaron Rodgers with my khakis.
He might as well. He should have just worn Dockers. All right, he's very comfortable in the
pulling
pocket.
out from the Jim Harbaugh collection.
Yeah, so those were pretty rough. I get it. You got to honor your past, and typically I'm a fan of some of the wild throwbacks, but I mean those had no matching whatsoever. Just they were hideous, point blank. And then the last thing, and this is really low-hanging fruit, and I think pretty much every fan out there would agree with me. Maryland, with their Under Armour backing, trying to compete with Oregon and Nike.
Yeah.
Not good. All right. I love that you're trying to honor the state, but you talk about way too busy. You're running around looking
I don't even know what their logo is.
Like, are you kidding me? Right. I forgot.
You should love their logo. It's a turtle.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
I don't understand. I don't get what they're doing with their helmets.
Do less.
They stun me. Yeah. Less is more.
Right. So that's pretty much where I'm going to leave. Well, and then the last thing I'll touch on to actually have my 5 T 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Perfect.
I'm just going to tackle a lot of different schools here. One of which is A&M, but the all black. Everybody going to the all black, and I get it. It really is a recruiting mechanism, kind of what you touched on earlier.
Of course.
And all the kids want this new swag. You play a night game. You want to rock the all black, but college tradition. College football is so steeped in tradition, in all of this heritage, and half of these schools date back to the early 1900s. Ohio State wearing the black jerseys over the weekend, I didn't like it. Their primary colors are scarlet and gray, and that's what they need to wear every single weekend. I feel like maybe mix a little black in, but the all black, I'm not a fan of it. You're kind of turning your back on tradition there. So. Not for me. I'm definitely sitting the all black. UCLA is going with the version of that. Everyone's trying to keep up with Oregon.
How about Virginia Tech's helmet this past weekend? And I know you guys got a chance to see that. Trash, one, but two, I think it would have been. I like the VT on there, and I think if they would have just went with a white helmet, maybe they just put one extra color on there. But they're trying. I don't know what they were trying to do, and it's not even like evenly proportionate.
How much can we make our helmet look like an ice cream sandwich? I don't know.
Right. And I will throw out one more from the NFL standpoint. All right.
Helmet like an ice cream sandwich. Mr. Ice Cream Man.
Oh,
man. Oh, shit. This is going downhill real quick. Our super fan Clay's probably going to bail on us.
No, he's good. Move the chains, Clay.
Keep them moving. Pittsburgh Steelers weren't rocking their Bumblebee uniforms. Needs to be retired forever. I get it. They're old school uniforms. Those are bad, right?
Bad.
They're bad.
We
can get on rants about bad uniforms, so we might need to save that for another episode.
Right.
Well, we'll close with one school that we've given a lot of credit to. They play on the field, but they kind of take it over the top, is Baylor. Their unis have gone, even their basketball unis have gone out of control.
Too much.
Everything they're doing
they truly are trying to keep up with Oregon.
Well,
they truly are. I mean, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They get rid of all their school colors. Sometimes when they play, you don't even know it's Baylor that's on the field.
Highlighter yellow. They got highlighter yellow.
I like when they do the green and gold. You have a good traditional look. Just keep with it and something similar. Don't go all gray. We don't know what the hell that.
Everyone's trying to mix the gray in. And we talked about this earlier. If you were to turn the TV on and you saw Baylor's gray helmets with the gray pants, I mean, you wouldn't even know it was Baylor until you look down, at the bottom line.
Or the scoreboard and you saw 60-plus points.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Cool. Well, that was a good
awesome,
good stardom sit-em.
Awesome.
Now this is going to lead us into a great bit. Some of the most fun's had here. We're going to look into our top 10 picks for the weekend. Coming up next, got some big updates on standings.
Boom.
To all the chain gangers, welcome back. So Jesse Logan here, Tony Hunt, Andy Benedict, and we're going to jump right into our pick 10 to win, where every single week we announce who won the previous week, and then we're also going to pick our next 10 for this upcoming week. And just kind of give you a rundown, we pick 5 games from college football, we pick 5 games from the NFL, and then each week someone here gets bragging rights. So we're going to go ahead and start out with who lost this week. And back-to-back weeks, this person has brought up the tail end, and he goes by the name of one Tony Hunt.
Oh
yeah!
Oh,
Mr. Hunt went from 5-5 last week. He found a way. We were like, "Hey, is there anywhere to go but up from there?" No, there wasn't. He went down to 3-7 this week.
Oh no!
A really tough week.
Look, it was a bad week. You guys could tell from the episode. I'm going to turn it around this week. It's late on me. Let's go through this thing. I'm going to kick y'all's tail.
So he finished at 3-7 last week. I was at 5-5, and tied there at the top with me at 5-5 was also one Andrew Benedict.
Benedict, love it.
Tied at the top. So
pressure now. When you're leading the pack, there's a lot of pressure.
3-7. Oh my God, that's horrible.
Well, you're not leading the pack, so let's go ahead and throw that out there.
Ooh, what's the overall standing?
Bring you back down to earth.
I think I'm still down by two games.
I think his head's still floating out of the sky.
Right.
Hey, good thing these headphones are on here, so otherwise I'd just
keep you grounded. So the standings for the year.
Lemon hat back.
Then it'd be real aerodynamic, and then I really would.
I don't get it.
Right. So the standings for the year, let's get this back on track. The standings for the year, Jesse Logan leading the way at 15-5, just dominating you guys.
Cheater.
Andy Benedict at 13-7, and Tony Hunt below 500 for the year at 8-12.
I'm the only realist out there.
That's
I would have to say
be proud
losing by 2 games is not being dominated in the score column. Okay, that's
dominant.
trash.
All right, so let's move on to this week. We're going to start it out with college football. And this is really shocking when you look at it on paper, but Utah going to USC. USC actually the 3.5-point favorite in this, even though Utah is ranked number 3 in the country. So for me, I'm going with Utah. I like what Travis Wilson's doing at quarterback. Devontae Booker's a beast in the backfield. Utah's defense has been pretty serviceable. USC still in a state of disarray. Give me the Utes.
Yep, give me the Utes here as well. USC's giving up over 400 yards of offense. I think Mr. Booker's going to have a big day. So give me the Utes on the road.
Utah for me as well.
All right. Going right on down the line. So on to the next one. Texas Tech traveling to Norman to take on the Sooners, coming off that big 55-0 win last weekend. OU's a 14.5-point favorite in that one. So for me, I'm going with OU. Baker Mayfield is going to have a huge chip on his shoulder. He basically got run out of Lubbock, found a new home there in OU, and he's really flourished. So I'm going with Oklahoma in that one.
Yeah, Boomer Sooner. They're on
Oklahoma,
a mission.
keep it rolling.
All right, so keep on plugging away. Ohio State at Rutgers. Rutgers, the 21-point underdog in that one. I feel like Ohio State is, they have to switch over to J.T. Barrett. I think Urban Meyer has ignored it long enough. Barrett looked incredible last weekend. So I'm going to Ohio State. They're going to win that one big with Barrett at the helm.
Yeah. Give me not so fast, gentlemen.
Ohio State. Believe that one for a second.
Oh, man. Ohio State. Ohio State.
All right, no differentiation so far through.
Keep it. See, I get to pick last. So if I really, strategic, right? I'm gonna pick my spot. Yeah, pick my spot.
So on to the next one. A&M goes to Ole Miss. Ole Miss, they're a 5.5-point favorite. I called the upset last week, Memphis over Ole Miss, and I'm going to go ahead and double down on Ole Miss losing. I'm going with A&M. I feel like they're going to win this game. They have a lot to prove coming off that loss to Alabama last weekend. So give me the Aggies.
Wow, they burned him last week. He's going back to them. I, too, am taking the Ags. I think we get over the pick-six game. We rebound, and our boys on the end, Myles Garrett and Deshaun Hall, tee off and really get after Ole Miss this week. We win a low-scoring game.
Well, low scoring.
Man, T, I'm not going to do it to you this week. I'm not. Hey, I did not pick A&M last week. I'm going with the Aggies this week.
Oh, he's doing
I'm
it.
thinking they're going to take
maybe that's what I need. That's what we need.
We're taking the Ags. We do not believe in anybody else running this place this week except for the Aggies. Gig 'em.
All right. Well, anybody that watched the video this far probably just turned it off because we all just put in the exact same picks there. But now we're going to go ahead and roll into the upset special of the week.
This could get interesting.
This could get interesting, and I'm going to go ahead and lead the way. I'm going to pick Miami over Clemson, all right? Dabo Swinney goes off about Clemsoning and, all this stuff, bring your own guts, I feel like Miami has a solid quarterback. Clemson's defense isn't that stout. Kaya, quarterback, can really throw it. I think he's got 10 touchdowns, 1 pick on the year. So, Clemson, you're officially on upset alert. Taking Miami.
Oh, wow. I am heading out west to the Pac-12. Hopefully I can get an upset special out there somewhere.
Keep trying.
As UCLA rebounds over number 20 Cal. UCLA's reeling, but Rosen still had a good game last week. They just could not stop the running game of Stanford, which Cal does not have a running game. So give me UCLA over Cal to rebound.
And I'm taking points here. All right, I'm gonna bet with taking some points, but I'm gonna use the points to take Kentucky to upset Mississippi State. So give me the points and Kentucky to beat Mississippi State.
Boy, he really dug deep to find that one.
I did, big time. Went through a lot of surfing.
I thought they were on the bye week this weekend.
Tried to find a
Jeez,
gem.
Great job, buddy.
Tried to find a gem for you.
I thought he was just going to, whoever Nebraska was playing, just pick them.
No, wow.
Pick Nebraska to lose.
Yeah, exactly. Upset special, whoever's playing the Huskers. So.
I'm going to put my corn hat on, and I'm taking the Huskers.
So Kentucky over Ole Miss, that's another snooze fest. You just love picking those games. Iowa and Northwestern last week.
Well, I eat my words on that one, right? But no, hey, I'll let my record speak for itself.
Well, okay. Second
Me
place.
too. Don't trust any
Second
of this
place,
stuff I'm throwing out
first loser. Okay. All right, so rolling right into the NFL. The first game we have, Jets going to Foxborough, New England, 9-point favorites. For me, I'm going with the Jets in an upset here. All right, New England has been riding high. They have to come back down to earth. They look pretty susceptible. I mean, the Colts had a chance to win that game against New England until they ran the whole fake punt, swinging gate, worst play in NFL history.
Complete debacle.
Right, I'm going with the Jets in upset fashion in this one.
Yeah, I was right there with you, leaning that way. I actually just flipped.
Oh,
now, I'm going back to New England at home. I think if this game starts scoring points, I don't think the Jets can keep up with them, and I don't think their defense is good enough to slow them down. So, yeah, give me New England at home. I hate to do it, but I think that's going to be a closer game than this 9-10 point spread they've got on it. So, yeah, I'll take the Pats at home.
All right.
I'm liking the Jets' defense right now. I think that they're going to be able to keep them kind of at bay a little bit to where their offense can do some things. Like I said, Brandon Marshall, look for big things for him. So I'm taking the Jets, Jets.
Oh, shout out to our boy from East Meadow, New York.
Figured that. Yo, I'm from East Meadow.
So on to the next one, NFC East battle. The Cowboys coming off the bye week. They're going to go and face the Giants. The Giants are 3.5-point favorites in this one.
Coin flip.
It really is a coin flip because it's really Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde for both of these teams. You don't know what you're going to get out of them. The Giants looked terrible last night. Against the Eagles, just continue to give the ball away. But I don't think the Cowboys have enough firepower right now. For me, I don't think Matt Castle is going to bring you too much different than what Whedon had to offer. They're trying to mix things up in the backfield as well. I'm going with the Giants in this one. I feel like Manning and company, they get it together.
Yeah, give me the Giants with those sweet unis that they wear. I don't care what color it is. I love them. Anything they got. Give me. I just think I like what Eli's doing, even though that game they played against Philly was just really weird and turnover. I don't know. Yeah, Giants. That's
all right.
I'm going to vote with my heart, not with my head on this one. So you can get the homer alert on here. So please, no one put money based off of this pick. But I'm curious to see what Castle's going to do. Like you said, changing up some things within the backfield. You're getting Gregory back from the defensive end. Dez is in question. We can't count on that. But I'm gonna take the boys on the road just because I'm going with my heart. Hopefully, it'll lead to a victory for us here Sunday.
Prediction of the week: Matt Castle, 2 picks. Write it down. All right. Okay. Minnesota. I've seen it too many times. Being a Chiefs fan. So Minnesota at Detroit. Minnesota's a 2.5-point favorite. Detroit. I mean, adversity punched Matt Stafford right in the face. He turned around, threw for 4 touchdowns last week, and led their team to a victory in overtime over the Bears, a game a lot of people thought they would lose, and maybe they would just fold things up for the rest of the year. But they seem to kind of turn it around. But I'm still going against the Lions in this. Something you touched on earlier, Benny, is AP is just going to run roughshod over that defense. And it looks like the Vikings have a new deep threat, not Mike Wallace, but that Stephon Diggs. So I'm going with the Vikings in this one.
Yeah, give me Megatron and the Lions at home.
All right.
Yeah, I think AP's going to run all over the Lions, but you hit it right. Stafford really showed something last week, and I definitely think that coming back home, a little higher confidence, or getting Megatron rolling a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't know what they're going to do in the backfield, right? You got a couple big question marks with Abdullah holding on to the football. Riddick, don't know if that's the answer, but I'm taking the Lions at home over Minnesota.
Wow.
All right. So moving on. Oakland going to San Diego. San Diego, they're a 4-point favorite in that one. Phillip Rivers is coming off a 503-yard passing performance, getting the ball all over the place.
He still can't even win.
Right, and still couldn't win. Well, like the first quarterback in NFL history
Oh, gosh.
to lose after throwing for 500 yards.
That's a sit-em alert then for San Diego's defense.
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, Oakland, they've been a lot better. Derek Carr is solid. Amari Cooper. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get out of Latavius Murray. And the defense isn't bad. But San Diego, I just feel like they really lean on the experience of Phillip Rivers. They had a chance to win it against the Packers over the weekend. I'm taking the Chargers in that.
Yeah, same here. I don't really have much notes other than he threw for 500 yards, couldn't get a win, but we'll take him this weekend.
Go Chargers!
Chargers.
We're taking the 500-yard man, Chargers.
All right, Chargers across the board. So now moving on to our upset special in the NFL. For me, I'm going Eagles over the Panthers. So I'm picking two undefeated teams to go down this weekend. The Panthers did go into CenturyLink Field, and they knocked off the Seahawks at home. But, I mean, maybe the Seahawks aren't who we thought they were. You know what I mean? Where's Denny Green when you need him?
Yeah, right.
The Eagles, don't get me wrong, they looked rough in that game the other night, but their defense is what has kept them in games. Kind of very similar to like what Denver has done.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the Eagles' defense can really do a lot of things against the Panthers' offense. And I feel like if they win that battle, they can pull out the game as long as Bradford can kind of minimize his mistakes. Eagles over Panthers.
Ooh.
Hope you're wrong, but we'll take it.
Cam Newton would not like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking it to your hometown, Mr. Kansas. And give me this is a weird upset. I just think it's an upset one, being Pitt's 4-2, even with backups, they're keeping it going.
Yeah.
They're playing well. Martavius Bryant, Landry Jones, the new combination in the NFL that's just going to light things on fire. But not until after they leave KC. The Chiefs somehow find a way to win this week. They get it over Pitt.
I hope so.
Landry comes back down to earth. And Chiefs get a win over Pittsburgh. Much needed win over Pittsburgh.
I am going with the team that let me down once already this year, but hoping for a little turnaround here.
Please say
no.
I already tried that.
No one's picking the Browns.
Already as bad as their unis.
I'm going New Orleans over Indy. Indy is a 5-point favorite. They're playing at home. But I think Drew Brees goes in, high-scoring game, gets it done at Indy.
All right. Even with that trash New Orleans defense, you're going with it. It seems like luck might be back. All right.
Rolling with it.
It's an upset special, so that pretty much
gotta
runs
take
it
a
down.
chance.
Once again, Jesse Logan, 15-5. You're basically going to want to listen to all my picks, all right? I'm going to lead you to the promised land. Just call me Leonard Fournette of picks. Give me the damn ball.
Oh, my gosh.
Gosh, and after that arrogant remark, we'll be back with closing statements. So that does it again for another great episode of Third and Long. Thanks for hanging out with us. I, again, am Tony Hunt, joined by, every week, Andy Benedict and Jesse Logan. We appreciate everyone out there in the chain gang following along, listening. Got some big stuff this weekend. So, again, we thank you. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Always a wild ride.
Always a pleasure.
Yep. So as always, and moving forward, please keep the chains a moving. Till next time.
Adios.
See you on the flip side.
Third and long, third and long. Sing this song, 'cause it's third and